So I recently completed a series of commercial flights. I did survive, for those of you wondering. I survived in my life. I'm back. And it made me oddly nostalgic. I don't know how else to really explain it other than that. And it made me want to go back and revisit some of the older sims that I had been playing as a kid. Now, we're currently watching the DCS 2025 and beyond video just as a piece of filler content while I talk. And DCS itself, it harkens back to the old Flaming Cliffs series back in 2011, maybe even earlier than that. I think I started playing in 2012-ish. No, it would have been, it doesn't matter. Pre-2013, so over 10 years ago. But I want to go further back than that. I want to journey back to the year 1998. And a game. Yeah, a game. Or sim, as it's more likely to be. Come back, music. Thank you. To be known as Falcon 4.0 and the free community update called Falcon BMS. And that is what we're going to look at today. We're not going to be getting really in-depth, but this is the in-depth simulator. If you're looking for an F-16 or an F-15, there's not much else you can do. But if you love those two jets, specifically the F-16, this might be the sim for you. There's a caveat, because this is a 1998 era game, the graphics aren't great, but it does also mean if you have a lower end computer, you can run this on maximum graphics with pretty much no problem whatsoever. What we're going to do today is we are going to hop into a cold and dark situation on the ground ops mission. We'll commit to that. And this is our tax screen here. You can see it's real dated. It's old looking. And the sim kind of does too. There are third-party mods. You can add reshaders and all that, but I wanted to give the full vanilla experience so that you know what you're going to be getting into if you do choose to get this game. Now, the cost of this game is incredibly low. It's currently on sale for Steam. I think I got it for like $5. So Falcon 4.0 is $5. Falcon BMS is free, which is another attractive point to people who maybe don't want to sink, $50, $60, $70, I think even $80 into certain modules in DCS. Again, I'm not going to be doing a direct comparison because DCS, it looks better if you have the hardware to handle it. There's more flyable aircraft, there's rotorcraft, there's World War II stuff. This is just, we'll call it 1.5 jets because the F-15C isn't fully worked out yet, and we're just going to be focusing on the F-16. But I do really want to show this off because I believe it still has a place in today's flight simulation world if you really yearn for a simulator that performs well, which this does mostly due to its age, and also has high levels of realism. When I say that the F-16 in DCS is not as true to life as it could be, I need you to take my word for it. I know pilots and maintainers of current block as well as Block 52 F-16s, and they have said it's not 1-to-1. They very much so think that the model in Falcon BMS is closer to 1-to-1. Not 100%, but a lot closer. So let's go ahead and open up our aircraft configurator here. We don't have a whole lot for options as of this mission. We've got 2 liveries. We're going to go with the aggressor scheme here, and I'm not going to really go crazy with decking out the aircraft here. I want to have a nav pod, and we'll throw on a sniper pod just for looks, a central fuel tank, and I think that's going to be all we're going to need. Yeah, that's good. Let's go ahead and launch. Let's do a ramp start. I'll try and do a cold and dark start here. I've actually not done a cold and dark start. I've actually not even really flown this sim. I basically got my bound set up, and that was it. So we'll see. Another thing, obviously, with it being a older game, a lot faster loading times, a lot less stuff going on. So we're loaded in just like that. So you can see we're in our cold and dark aircraft here. Obviously, the graphics, they're not great. I mean, the jet looks okay. I think it's adequate. You can definitely immerse yourself in this. I think especially there's VR options for this as well. First thing I'm going to do is get rid of our pilot. Like that. Just so I can see what I'm doing. I might actually need to maneuver this here. In fact, yeah, let me go grab my track IR real quick. Okay, and back with track IR. I do apologize if it's a little bit jerky. I'm using my DCS default. So let's run through a startup here. Let's go ahead and remove that EPU ground safety pin. Good, EPU pins out. Let's go main power to battery. What's the date today? Today is a odd number day, so we'll go JFS1. But 2 works too. Two's fine. I didn't misclick. And we're waiting for our RPM to come up. Set our engine feed to normal. Waiting for that little green line there. And I think we're just about there, just past the little green notch there. So let's go ahead and unlock our throttle to the idle position. EPU is on. Engine RPM's coming up, making sure our F-tit stays below 700. There we go, F-tit's coming back down. Let's go main power. We'll close up the canopy. Goes an F-16. Shocker. Close and lock that. Let's get all of our air going, and we'll get our avionics coming online as well. No stored heading alignment, so we have to go normal. Radar altitude to standby. I only have the left hard point, so I don't need the right on. Set our external fuel to center. I'm trying to use DCS keybinds. It's going about as well as you think. Check our caution light, stores config, avionics faults, seat not arm, flickus faults. Let's change our config to cat 1. That should go out. It did. FCS. Let's go ahead and do a bit on our FCS. We still have an avionics fault. I think it's still just aligning. Yeah, so bit time remaining 68 seconds. I won't make you guys sit through that, so I'll just take care of that on my own. While we're waiting on the aircraft to align, watch some aircraft taking off. Again, definitely not winning any awards for graphical detail. But when you consider that this is a game originally made in 1998, much like DCS, I think it works pretty dang good. In the meantime, while we do have brake power, let's turn on the park brakes. And then we can go into our ground crew menu and have removed shocks. That should also, yeah, it took off our pitot covers. Oh, look at them forming up on each other. You will have to forgive my camera work, as I definitely am not familiar with the camera movements, but that's okay. So as you can see, I still have a little bit to learn yet. My avionics are still in a degraded state, which I don't know what to do about that. So we're just... Oh, the data link, that's why. I bet you it's because I didn't... No, I don't know. No, I think data link wouldn't make a difference. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I think we're set. We can still taxi. So we've got our chocks out. We've got an F5 on the roll out there. Let's go ahead and give our hand sign. Park brake off. Taxi light on. Let's get a quick brake check in. Brakes are good. Seat is... Oops, please. Hello? There we go. Seat's armed. Nose wheel steering's on. Short little taxi. Ground handling, it feels so much better. This old 1990s era sim. I absolutely love how the F-16 feels. It feels how real F-16s look. I've obviously never flown a real F-16, but just based on the visuals of the real aircraft out there that we do get, this feels way better. So, we go ahead and taxi out behind what appears to be a 3-ship, maybe a 4-ship. One more coming out of the hangar. Yep, a 4-ship. And we'll take up position behind them and get set for takeoff. We are in the Korean theater here, so it would make sense that we have Royal Korean Air Force F-16s. Interesting heat-seeking missile. It almost looks like a R-73. It's obviously not. So we'll slot in behind those guys. Wait for them all to get lined up. I'm realizing now that I said that I wasn't going to be comparing the sim to DCS, and most of what I've been doing is comparing the sim to DCS. It's hard. It's very hard. Got some dirt wash there. Once number 4 is rolling, which she is now, we're going to go ahead and take the active. Got all of them down there. And we're going to be no delay, so we're going to essentially get right into it here. Alright, on brakes. Rounding it up. Let's go ahead and throw our pilot body back on. Nose wheel steering off, airspeed's alive, in through 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130, 40, 50, 60, pulling back on the stick, 80, 90, through 200, tap of the brakes, gear coming up. Landing lights off. And just like that, we're airborne. Over my track IR jitters. Sound-wise, it does leave a little bit to be desired in some senses. Once you get the volume really up, is where you get good sound effects, and the dynamics are really good. So this is currently simulating sound that we would hear with our helmet on inside of the cockpit. But if boys and girls, if we go outside, you're deaf. You can't hear anything. Looks great. Well, looks okay. Looks okay. Feels better. And that is going to be my primary takeaway here, is how the sim feels. So, we'll do a quick field demo. Started off relatively simple, with a 4-point roll at about 400 knots. Ready? Here we go. A little bit of pitch up, and then 1, 2, 3. Oh, she pitches down a lot. Got to be ready for that. So yeah, the pitch down is you actually have to fight it a little bit, which is fine. Try that one more time in straight and level flight here. Sorry about the negative G's. 1, 2, pushing up just a little bit, too much. 3. Gives me a new respect for the F-16 actually in terms of handling. because it does not handle like it does in F-16. There are difficulty and realism sliders that you can toggle on and off. Oh, look, a Daewoo factory. Do any of you currently own or previously owned any Daewoos? Quite the regular traffic car, if I do say so myself, but they'll get you from A to B. Alright, so let's try a knife edge. Ready on the pedals. 440, 450, a little pull on the knife. Yeah, she wants to sink just a little bit, so come out of it. Get some G's on. Here's our G breathing. Midfield at 460. Hard pull. Not a minimum radius turn, because we entered a little bit too fast. But a good chance to bleed off some airspeed and pile on some G's. The sound effects in the cockpit, as far as the oral warnings, are all very good. We drop some chaff and flare.
Chaff, flare. Chaff, flare.
You can hear the very true-to-life oral warnings there. Fuel check. We're still good. Alright, let's get a high-speed pass in. And then we'll continue past the field to let you guys take a listen to the sonic boom sound effects. 0.94 Mach. Should be right around fast enough. The F-16D with a high-speed pass. Not very impressive in the transonic region, that's for sure. If we advance our throttles to full afterburner and get into the supersonic realm, there's Mach 1. Let's get just a little bit faster. 1.01. 02, we'll take it. Not great. Not great. And you can see, obviously, we're in the supersonic realm, so you're not hearing any sound now. I'll go ahead and start pulling into the vertical, and we'll come out of burner. And there's your transonic transition sound effect. And if we go back into the supersonic realm, maybe? Good, I'm way over Mach 1. Why am I still hearing my afterburner? Oh well. Let's really pile on the G's here, get a little bit of blackout going if we can. You can see that tunnel vision closing in, screen getting dimmer. Really fighting the G-forces now. Let's pull out of it. Let our pilot rest for a second here. And I would imagine it's a similar situation for the readout. Not going to hurt the jet by doing this. Might hurt ourselves, though. There's your readout effects. No sound, like you do get in the old digital combat simulator. Nice and slow. We'll see how slow we can get. We've got a marginal altitude floor below us. Not a lot, but enough to where we can probably maybe recover. So there's 170. Eventually we should get the gear takeoff warning configuration. 150. 145. The airplane is beginning to shudder. How's that for an high alpha pass? 140 now. Really starting to shudder. Really, really, really waggling those wingtips. There's our takeoff landing configuration at 138 knots. One more flyby. And you can see we're sinking pretty good there. So let's go into burner. And we'll climb out at 45 degrees, just like they do in the demo. Already back through 200. No problem at all for the F-16D. It's worth pointing out we're on an earlier block of the F-16. There's multiple blocks available, so you have the one with the more advanced HUD system and the more advanced hammocks than what we've got today. But I'll take what we can get. Next up, and I think last thing we'll look at as far as the flight configuration is going to be a landing. So we're already lined up for it. We might as well go ahead and do it. We're at 264 knots now. We'll come down below 250. I think the F-16 you can deploy below 300 knots, but just to be safe, we'll get a little bit slower. I don't need all that airspeed. So here come the gear. We'll open up the boards as well. Add just a little bit of power. We'll try to hold it right around 180 knots on our landing approach. Nice, smooth approach. Minimal winds from what I can feel. We'll have to see what the windsock reports. Yeah, light and variable. Alright, power cut. Flutter on in. There's a touched. Didn't quite bounce, but definitely could have done better. Keep this high alpha profile to help slow the F-16 down. In through 110 knots now. It's actually really nice. The F-16 in BMS seems to hold that high alpha condition a lot better than the F-16 in DCS. You really have to almost fight it. So I don't know if that's because the newer blocks don't. Oops, excuse me. Let me just have a brief runway excursion. Don't mind me. So with the handling and that sort of stuff over, let's equip some light armament. I think we'll look at air to ground, because I don't think I'm capable enough to do air to air just yet. So we will take a look at the air to ground. We'll do some CCIP, continuously computed impact point bombing, as well as some gun runs in the F-16. Okay, I lied a little bit. We are going to actually be doing some CCRP bombing. Let's set up the jet here. I'm going to go air to ground mode, and I'm going to set my test page to the targeting pod. Alright, we are up. Let's find something to blow up. Set up for that guy there. Alright, let's start getting lined up here. We're already configured single profile, nose tail, fusing configuration. Start lining up here. Master arm is on, lasers armed, weapons are selected. Let's do
Altitude.
Pair. If you don't like the breathing sound effect that you're hearing, you can turn it off in the sim as well. It's an option. Alright, here come our cues. Standing by. There's the release. 2 off the rails, lasing. A little bit far. But if we look at the collateral damage on the ground, see a big, huge, dark smoke cloud. And a little bit of fire as well. So we'll come back around for another pass. Ready, ready, ready. Bombs away. And we'll change our config in just a second here.
Caution. Caution.
A little bit farther too, so probably my lack of ability there. In fact, I didn't see the latest command going off, but nonetheless, that is a little bit of the air to ground bombing. Let's try some air to air next. Some dogfighting. There's the turn. He definitely sees us now. Let's get into our maneuvering speed here. Slow it down just a little bit. Look, we're nose on.
Lock.
Alright, he's dumping his nose. We're going to do the same.
Altitude. Altitude.
Little hits, little hits. Oops, trying to force us into an overshoot here. We're not going to make it. Let it happen, though. Good hits, good hits. He's smoking. There's the kill. Splash.
Chaff. Flare.
MiG-21. Ah, there he is. Fox 2.
Fox 2.
Chaff. Flare. Chaff. Flare. Chaff. Flare. Chaff. Flare. Chaff. Flare.
I haven't seen him fire. He's not going to have smokeless missiles like me. Oh, there's the fire. Alright, we are in our first dogfight, folks. Proper dogfight as far as maneuvering goes.
Lock.
Bad aspect. Oh, I'm hit!
Warning.
We're hit, we're hit.
Warning.
Come on, EPS, do your thing, do your thing.
Caution. Caution.
I think we might be out of this. I think we might be out of it. Yeah, no hydros. Aw, dude, leave it to me to get splashed by a frickin' MiG-21.
Altitude.
Countermeasures not working. Limited hydraulics. I don't see him. He's probably coming in to finish the job, bastard. But there we go. First victory and first defeat. Simultaneously in Falcon BMS. A derivative of Falcon 4.0. Let's take a look at a couple other aircraft in this sim, and I think we'll close things out. Welcome to what I believe is an F-15D. A very common aircraft nonetheless, but we've got it here today. I have not configured any of my controls for this. Do I still have throttle? I do. Stick looks good. Let's try and taxi out here. I can't seem to get my HUD up and going. Which, I mean, who needs a HUD to fly, right? I've got I've got some standby instruments. We'll just use those. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. We're here to fly, damn it. I do hope I can get the gear up, though. That's going to be a tricky one if I can't get the gear up. Right on the brakes. Rolling it up. Into burner. Oh, a little bit shaky on my part. Tap of the brakes. Gear do come up. That's good. Looks like flaps are automatically transitioning as well. The F-15D. Not great looking, but hey, it's free. That's a great price. We're not going to do any air-to-air stuff. We're just, I don't know, I wanted to get the airplane out a little bit, see how it handled, see how it looked. Falcon's definitely the go-to aircraft if you did want a slightly more full fidelity experience. This is a full clickable cockpit, so everything in here I can, most of the stuff at least, I can twiddle around and do stuff with. And there would be new bindings and all of that stuff to learn. But again, this is primarily for the F-16. It is called Falcon 4.0 / Falcon BMS. But who can say no to an F-15, even if it is a dual canopy?
Over G, over G.
Definitely not your standard approach in the F-15, but I think we'll make it down okay. Famous last words. That's a really aggressive sink rate. And now we're porpoising. That's right, F-15's got enough braking power to touch down a little ways beyond the touchdown zone. Are we in the air still? Yep. Yep. Yes, we were. Uh-oh. 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 It's okay. We're fine. We're okay. Yeah, see, we're fine. We're fine. We're fine. And we're going to stop before I did in the F-16. Famous last words. No, we're not. Well, nearly. Alright, well, that's the F-15 Eagle. I vaguely remember there being an F-18. I'm gonna look and see. And if I'm wrong, we'll see a closeout from the main menu. And if I'm right, I'll see you guys in an F-18. Back in a sec. Okay, so I'm still learning at this a little bit, and I could not get the F-18 to work. I was, however, able to do a quick launch mission in the Harrier. We're going to see how it goes. I'm lost, guys. I don't... It's like, this is your sweep for the nozzles, and it's all the way back. But if we go outside of the jet, you can see my nozzles are all the way forward. So that's going to make for an interesting takeoff. I guess we're just going to go for it. I can't clear the master caution or the master warning. I also can't change my anti-skid. So that's probably got to get done through a bind. So definitely not a full fidelity aircraft, but nonetheless, we're going to give it a try. Oh, that sounds not great. See, exhaust angle 0. This is going to be a problem. I'm only doing 90 knots. Sinking, 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 sinking. Okay. So anyway, that's Falcon BMS, you guys. Well, look, there's the LHA coming to run over our corpse. That's Falcon BMS. I definitely need to learn it more, but once I do, this has the potential to be a good contender. There's a whole suite of different aircraft in here. There's only a handful that have actually modeled cockpits, and they still borrow avionics mostly from the F-16. But nonetheless, I definitely recommend, especially for $5, dude. That's a Little Caesar's pizza. Check it out. Download the Falcon BMS free update or upgrade, and give it a try. See what you guys think. So that's it. I'm gonna play this some more in the off time, and maybe it'll make a return to the channel if you guys are interested, and if I'm interested. But nonetheless, I will leave this smoldering pile of death here, and see you guys in the next video. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, take it easy. I was a little bit bummed with my performance in the here, so I found the F-18. Like I said, it's got borrowed symbology from the F-16, but you know, hey, you know, it's here. We got stuff I can actually click on. That's cool. That's neat. There you go. F-18 goodness. Let's take a look at the outside. It's not bad. Those afterburners need some work yesterday. The engine model looks good, though. Look at that. Okay, let's back up a little bit. Yeah, the engine model from here looks good. So you got a 4-ship with me. So there you go. There's the F-18 and Falcon BMS. Copy 2. Like I said before, it's very much just repeats of existing
3 in position.
F-18 or F-16 rather symbology, but it is it does okay. Check out Falcon BMS and 4.0 as a result, because you have to have 4.0 to get BMS. Okay, bye.